In this video, I'm going to show you how you can smooth out deformation in the heel if you have any when you transfer weights from Cinnamon&Chai over to your shoes. So I'm using this shoe mesh donated to me by Claudia Dryke from the store Athor in Second Life. She's loaned me this shoe so that I can demonstrate this problem and how to fix it. So I normally work with the left foot as I find it easy to navigate using 1 and 3 and Control 1 on the number pad. If you use the right foot, you've got to use Control 3 so that you can access the right foot. So I've deleted the right shoe from this set and I'm just working on the left foot. So once your shoe is fitted to your foot, in this case it's the mid-height, the Cinnamon&Chai mid-foot, you select the shoe and then you select the Avastar rig, and then under Avastar you make sure your method is set to copy from meshes and that your mapping is set to nearest face interpolated. You need to make sure that the copy weight from is set to the Cinnamon&Chai mid-foot and nothing else. If you have anything else selected in there, you might get some strange results. And then you select bind to armature. It doesn't take very long, so once it's done, I'll select the rig and set it to pose mode, and then we'll just twist this bone and see what happens with the heel. So you can see there's a little bit of deformation in the heel there, and this is fairly easy to resolve. It's not 100% necessary to have it extremely smooth, as the mid-foot does not bend in Second Life, so that you won't ever see this kind of animation when you're wearing a mid-heel shoe. But it's nice to smooth it out so that the length sliders don't deform it. So we set that back to the default setting, and just see what happens when I hit leg length. You can see here there's a little bit of deformation on the heel, which we definitely do not want. And if I go to the body height and change that, you can see that deformation happens again. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of that. So the first thing I'll do is tab into the edit mode and select the entire heel with the L button. So you've only got the heel selected. And then I'm going to put the whole shoe into weight paint mode. And then what I'm going to do is select that foot bone, which doesn't influence the shoe at all. You can see now the shoe is pink because the weight is coming from the leg and the toe in the case of Cinnamon&Chai feet. So we'll rotate this foot so that we can actually see the deformation, and then we're going to select the toe bone because that's the weight we want to affect, and we will put the mesh into vertex select mode so that we can actually see the vertices we selected in edit mode before. And now we want to blur this section. We can also select weights smooth, smooth it again, and you can see that's already started to improve the look of the heel. Go out of vertex select and select the lower leg bone, and then we want to select back into vertex select with a V, and then I want to actually just blur, and you can turn on a limit selection so that you can blur through the whole heel. And all you really want to do here is smooth this out and remove some of the weight from the lower side of the heel. So I'm going to just select the subtract tool and just paint in the subtract so that it won't deform that lower heel when you change your length sliders. And then I'll grab the blur tool again and I'll just smooth everything out. So when you're in vertex select mode and you have some vertices selected and white like I have them here, you'll find your brushes won't affect anything else. They'll only affect the ones that you have selected. So I might just deselect these ones at the top. Sometimes you need to be in a wireframe for that to work. There we go. So I don't want to affect anything above this point in the heel, only what's below here. And then we weight smooth and smooth again, just to get things looking a bit smoother. Now, as I said, the ankle bone will never bend like this when you've got the mid animation active. So you don't need to worry that this is deformed, because you'll never see it. So we'll just set this back to the correct default rotation, and I'll go and have a look at the sliders again. So if we go to height now, you see there's still a little bit of deformation there, so let's go and fix that. Go into weight paint, select the lower leg bone and the subtract. Brush. Just brush it in there. Press Alt Q to refresh it. Alt Q to refresh it. Alt Q. And that's no longer deforming. So let's change the height setting back to its default. Let's go and have a look at the leg length. That looks pretty good. So that's ready to go. Set the leg length back to its default setting. Make sure the height is set to its default setting. Now we'll go back into object mode. And because we've changed this mesh, Avastar wants us to update the binding, so I'll do that now. And now I will Shift D to duplicate that mesh and just right click to confirm it. And then I'm going to update the binding on the new mesh that I've just duplicated. I don't know why there's a little bug in Avastar that means I need to do that. Sometimes if you don't do that and you try to update the binding, it'll flip back to its original position. Object mirror X global, which mirrors the shoe to the opposite foot, the right foot. And then you need to select object apply all transforms, which will turn the shoe inside out. Tab into edit mode, select all of the vertices, press Alt N to bring up the normals menu, and then press flip, which turns it back to face the correct direction. And then you need to change the vertex groups on that shoe so that they move with the right bone. So we change left to right. Make sure your capitalization is exactly the same as it is on the original bone group. Left to right with a capital R. If you've got any groups in here that are L, the volume bones are called L and R rather than left and right, then change L to R, capital L to capital R. And these shoes are now ready to upload. Okay, once those shoes are uploaded, all we need to do is drag them onto the floor and find in your Cinnamon&Chai Creators Toolkit the foot setter scripts. In this case, it's a midfoot, so we want to edit them and then drag the midfoot setter script. Make sure the permissions are set to copy only, not copy and transfer, and then drag that script into the shoe, and then we pick it up and then we add it. So I'm going to take the Priscilla shoes off, and then I'm going to attach these to the left foot. Attach to left foot. It takes one moment and then the animation kicks in and the heels look really good. And now nothing will change that animation as long as that the customer is wearing these shoes, unless they change the animations via the HUD. So I hope this has been helpful. If you need any more assistance with this process, you can contact me in Discord and I'll help you as much as I can. Thanks.